This week on the ADG podcast, we have a brand new top five, movie review, and we'll be talking about politics and how awful the journalism club covered it. All that and more on this episode of the ADG podcast.
Jacob's research is awful. Picking dodgeball players, I'm picking the kids that can throw the ball. I just blew LeBron. I don't care what team.
Okay.
No, it's okay. They did a broadcast this morning. I had like one viewer. Good job, guys. That was me again.
Sure. Did we ever see a cover of Eddie Murphy's Party All the Time?
But this is the Lions we're talking about. So anything's possible. Kicker, long snapper. Nobody else matters, right there?
Not to me. Not to me. It's top five time.
Top five.
Today. Wow. Did you really say that Miss Congeniality is better than The Blind Side? I said she dressed like a hooker. This is at a diner. You know, show some respect, show some class, and just don't be a bunch of dummies. See, I think there are other better gangster movies than Scarface. For God's sakes, look at your goddamn boots. For God's sakes, it's not in the girl roots.
All right, welcome everybody to the AG podcast. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Darren.
And if you can hear from this shitty ass voice on coming through the headphones to your damn ears, it's me having some type of issues with my throat. So it means I'm sick.
Jake has his sexy voice on today, so
this is the late night radio show.
He's got his Alan Almond voice for all the ladies there listening.
How you doing?
There you go. See, I bet your wife just must love that voice, doesn't she?
Yeah, this thing coming through on her in her car coming home from work is gonna be terrific. Fast forward through this shit straight to the music today.
Oh, really? Sure. There you go. It's a mail-it-in episode for Jake.
Bunch of nonsense today. I can't even talk. Been
All
talking
right.
for the last 12 hours.
Okay, well, I'll do the majority of the talking there.
That's not any better.
No, I know. You got to give the people what they want. That's all.
They don't tell us much, but we're just giving them because we can.
There you go. Anyways, let's get into sports.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, let's obviously have to talk about those horrible Lions. Once
Really?
again, yeah.
I watched this stupid fucking game.
I know. Obviously, they showed up at Ford Field. Their defense didn't show up, but they showed up, and they to a 11-point loss to the Minnesota Vikings at home. They started off good. Matthew Stafford became the fastest player in NFL history to throw for 40,000 yards.
Yeah,
So,
he had a good game. He had a really good game.
He had a really good game.
Yeah.
He
Offense
threw-
did pretty well.
Yeah. Too bad defense can't stop a cold. Obviously, like Jake, yeah.
Hey,
So yeah, the defense obviously looked atrocious. But you know, the good news is they get the shitty Giants this week at home, and so rookie quarterback playing on the road. You know, I'm praying that the defense shows up. But it's been a weird last 48 hours for Lions and Lions fans. They traded away Quandre Diggs, one of their team captains, for a 5th-round pick to Seattle. Jake, were you like scratching your head when you heard this?
I wasn't expecting the Lions to make any moves, but unlike everybody else out there, I think it's a great move.
Why is that?
Clears a little bit of the cap space. They have 2 rookies, newer talent to replace him in that spot.
Yeah.
It's just he wasn't playing as good as he did a couple of years ago. So he missed a lot of tackles. He was, I think, overheard today ranked something like 60th in safeties in the league. So that's not very good. So to get a 5th rounder for that, I'm okay with. I'm actually very okay with. Plus, it clears enough cap space, which even though the Lions have a lot, and I have a suspicion they have another move or 2 left in their system.
Oh, so there you go. So Jake is optimistic.
And that shit's rare.
Very rare, especially when it comes to Lions.
Lions, yes.
So another move that we mentioned, that Kerryon Johnson has got placed on IR.
Yeah.
So his season is not done completely. He may return later on in the season, but then that puts a lot of pressure on the Lions running back core, including rookie running back Ty Johnson, who will get the majority of the workload now in the backfield. Him, along with they signed off the practice squad Paul Perkins, former New York Giants running back, it will help out in the backfield. Kind of missing C.J. Anderson, aren't you? Aren't you Detroit Lions fans? Huh? Yeah.
I
Maybe
don't
they
think
should have
anybody's
got rid of him.
missing C.J. Anderson. I think C.J. Anderson's missing, a meal or something these days.
Hey man,
He slimmed down.
when he was pretty good. So so that so that obviously that opens up the door for Ty Johnson, who was a standout in at Maryland, where he went to university. It should be interesting to see how that run that I know that offensive line isn't designed to open holes for running backs. It's more designed to protect Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens against the shitty Giants.
Well, I think they're gonna run more tight end spreads and all that
Yeah.
other stuff. So I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm looking for that defense to really just put a hurting on Danny Dimes and
No,
the New York
screw that.
Giants.
Don't let a team run up 500 yards on you. How about start with that?
Keep them under 300 yards. How
Yeah,
about
how
that?
many millions is that line making?
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I know. I'm trying not to get Jake too worked up because his voice is kind of not the best right now. But Jake,
No, that extra large Timmy's is helping right now.
it's helping. Okay, so there you go. So it's
something.
helping his pipes. So Jake, let's talk about another big thing that just opened up yesterday. Actually, was the opening night of the NBA. The defending champions, Toronto Raptors, got their rings, raised the banner, and got a win in overtime to start the season 1-0. I know Jake's a big hoops fan, so he must be pretty excited for the start of the NBA season.
Oh, I'm super excited. Can't wait to see my awesome team hit the court and
Yes.
all the star players that are injured sit on the bench
Mm-hmm.
and try to win games with old sellouts, which would be the players. Okay, Derrick Rose plays with two rubber knees strapped together with duct tape. Come on now.
Former MVP Derrick Rose.
Okay, yeah,
right.
20 years ago.
Uh,
Yeah. Andre Drummond's going to be out there getting those rebounds and taking up space and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Let's get to like 5 games under 500 and squeeze into the playoffs. Woo. Awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of the speaking of the Pistons, they start their season tonight on the road against the Pacers.
Yep.
It should be
You're going to get killed.
No, let's not say we got killed. Let's say if we start, we'll see if our season goes to a way that they expect it.
Well, Reggie's on the bench, Blake's on the bench, and our rookie's on the bench. Good times.
Yeah, it should be an interesting season. But if you're a Pistons fan right now, you have to be watching the other NBA teams because your team isn't worth watching.
No.
So I did catch a little bit of the LA Lakers Clippers game last night, and that was good to see actual talented NBA teams. Actually put on a good performance.
Yeah, talented players, and LeBron was there too. So good times.
Yeah.
I hate that guy. But anyway, no, basketball is going to be great. Clippers are going to be awesome this year.
Clippers looked really good.
Yeah.
And, even though they beat the Lakers, which isn't saying much, tells you how good Kawhi Leonard is.
Yeah.
And that team is going to be.
It's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, it'll be a fun season. Also, I got to give a little nod because I watched it. I watched a little bit of the game last week. Toronto FC TFC is playing their playoff game against New York this week. Tonight, actually, they have a playoff game, and I watched a little bit of their overtime win last week against Washington. Washington D.C. United, and where they just blew them out in overtime. 5-1 was the final score. You know, I'm not a big MLS guy. Like, I did watch it when TFC made the championship run, but it was quite the entertaining game.
Yeah, I don't watch MLS.
No.
No, no.
Is that considered not soccer to you?
It's a
Jake?
low level soccer.
Lower level.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Euro to start next summer. I'll be excited then.
Yes. Yes. We could
Qualifying just
actually.
ended, so
Yes, qualify did, and then well, once we get closer to Euro, we'll have a full on Eurofest when it
yeah,
comes
that's
to talking
closer
about it.
to end of season 3, so that's a long time away.
Yes, where you
Long
can
time.
actually hear Jake get excited about soccer.
Oh, I'm excited about soccer. It's just I
it's
want to
quite
watch some of it.
amazing, and you know what? Jake gets positive, which is very rare. You know.
Oh, I'm positive. I'm positive.
Is Poland looking good in the
Yeah,
Euro?
they're looking great. They made it to the Euros.
There you go.
They're gonna get bounced in the first round. It'll be awesome.
Wouldn't that be something? Poland versus Italy.
Yeah, actually, I'd watch that. I would go and watch that somewhere else. Go drink
we,
some beers, watch a good game.
we should try to do like a live stream from us watching Italy versus Poland. I think that'd be fun.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, do it like a bar.
There you go. Exactly. We can do a live episode from there.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, NHL's going on, and obviously they're about 21 days into their season. Leafs aren't looking that great. You know, they got blown out in Boston. Shocker, 4-2. After the game, Austin Matthews called out his team, which is good. You know, it really shows the maturity in him, and to where you actually have to speak up if your team is playing like dog shit. Obviously, they are missing their captain. He's out 2 weeks with a broken finger. So it's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back. They have another back-to-back game Friday and Saturday this week. So it's going to be interesting how that that yelling at their team, you know, will it wake them up or will it just make them play like dog shit that they have been playing like.
Yeah,
So
well, the Wings are going through the same thing. They're on a 5-game skid, and
horrible.
through Canada. Yeah, they're pretty. They just lost to Vancouver, so yeah, they lost to all the Canadian teams already. But yeah, no, who cares? Like it's just early. It's a few games in. I'm not too worried about it.
No.
Lots of games to go. It's a bounce back year. I'm not worried at all.
All right. So I think obviously big college football game going on this weekend. Michigan versus Notre Dame, and Michigan State taking on Penn State. Now, if you watched the game last week, Michigan obviously didn't show up until about the fourth quarter.
They sucked. Just say it. They sucked.
It made the score look somewhat respectable, only losing 28-21. But you know, Jake, how long are you giving Jim Harbaugh this clown show to continue?
Well, that's the thing. I heard a lot of rumors today, listening to the radio, reading some websites, that he there's might be interest in him going back to the NFL. This is really not working out. If you really think about it, they might lose 5 games this season. So that's not very good. That's a team that shouldn't be losing more than 1, 2 if they're having a bad year. So it's just how it should be. This program can't do that. So for him to get out of this would probably be the best thing. Going to the NFL, well, Miami sucks. Hey, go take over that. It's a win-win. He goes to do a resurgence in Miami. Michigan goes, thank you for our last 5 years. We're gonna move on. Peace out. He's getting paid so much money, and he's not doing anything positive. Drafting garbage, like he's not bringing anybody up.
Yeah,
he's not recruiting well. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah, I think the big Jesus Harbaugh and the love fest has gone away. So
Darren, you know what's gonna happen when he loses this game this weekend?
Yeah,
he might get slaughtered.
Yeah.
And then what? You lost to another rival, and you shit. Like, come on.
Oh boy,
That's
it's
saying Michigan State's getting away easy this
oh
weekend.
no
They might get
no.
pounded too. You never know.
If anything, I hope they're getting pounded so bad that Mark D'Antonio just announces his retirement at halftime. To say like, yeah, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm done.
They had their time, and it's time to move on.
Yeah, like obviously, Mark D'Antonio has done so much for that program at Michigan State, and to see them just underachieve year after year, it's very disheartening. So they really have to make a decision, both schools, when it comes to their head coach. You know,
That's true.
Am I think both of them are going to leave? No, I think it's more likely that one of them will leave. Because
Yeah, but
it's time to inject some new blood into this
if not
rivalry.
this year, then next year.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
it has to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Michigan State is willing would be the ones to say to themselves, okay, it's time for a new voice at the top. A new role in leadership than Michigan is, because how Michigan stubborn is when they come to finding a Michigan man to
Well, we don't have long to
lead
wait,
their
though.
program. I know.
Right. We don't have long to wait. The season's gonna end not too long from now.
I think more people are looking forward to Michigan basketball than anything
I
else.
am. Michigan
Yeah.
State basketball is going to be amazing this year.
Oh,
Michigan
yeah.
basketball should be good.
Michigan
Fun.
basketball is going to be interesting with Juwan Howard at the helm.
Yeah.
Taking over that program.
Yep.
So
It'll be fun.
yeah.
March Madness is big around here, so.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun. Especially if you're the gambling type like I am, it's fun times.
That'll be good.
That's it. All right, so that'll do it for sports there, Mr.
That's right.
Winarski. Yes.
Let's do. I know you have a top 5. Let's just hit that up.
Yes. Well, we're in that week that next Thursday actually is Halloween. Ooh.
Yes, it is.
So I decided to, because I've been very disappointed with the lack of people putting any thoughts into their costumes. So I came up with the top 5 Halloween costumes for 2019.
As approved by Darren, and solely Darren, not responsible at all for the
for the content of this top 5.
Right.
So these are adult costumes.
Oh, here we go. I knew it.
These are, if you're adult looking for a creative different costume that you would not normally see, or a costume idea, these are some of these top 5. I found an article by Esquire.com. So
okay.
So,
all right, let's do this.
So coming at number 5, Cliff Booth from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And if you're not familiar with that character,
that is some random shit.
That's right. It's Brad Pitt's character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and basically all you need is a distressed logo T-shirt and a Hawaiian shirt and some jeans, and that's it.
Or everyday clothing, as Darren has.
Everyday clothing. Number 4, if you're
it's your entire wardrobe.
Pretty much. This is a top 5 list of costumes you can easily find, like last minute costume ideas, basically.
Cool.
This is what. Number 4, a tethered, from the movie Us, which it's a short sleeve coverall and some pair of scissors.
Wow.
Yes. Have you ever seen the movie Us?
Not yet. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's a simple look. Number 3, a simple costume is Michael from The Good Place. Ever watched the show The Good Place?
No.
Basically, you just need a slim fit suit jacket and some Baker glasses, and then that's it.
Wow, we're going all out here.
We're going straight to the mall. And coming in at number 2, I know Jake loves his music. I know he was supposed to play in Windsor, but he backed out last minute.
Oh,
Lil
Lil
Nas
Nas
X.
X. All right.
Basically, you need a cowboy hat and some leather jacket with fringe, and you can go out as Lil Nas X.
Okay.
Eh,
But question,
yeah,
is
yeah, 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 yeah.
if I'm white, that just makes me a cowboy. Not to be racist, but it's true.
Not to be racist. If you're
If
gonna
I
go
put this
out,
on, I
if
just be a regular cowboy. I can't be
listen,
Lil Nas X.
listen. Just a little warning. If you're gonna go out as Lil Nas X,
Don't
just
be Justin Trudeau.
I was just about to say, don't pull Justin Trudeau. Do not do blackface. We do not support
Oh my God, we do
blackface.
not. No,
That's
no, do
right.
not do that.
Oh my god. So that's number two. And number one, I think we're gonna see a lot of these costumes because they're very easy and simple to make. Is Hopper from Stranger Things? You just need
Okay.
a mustache, a Hawaiian shirt, and some jeans, and there you go. You're Hopper from. And if you want, if you have some makeup around, you could put like a little gash over your eyebrow because he was always seemed to be bloody during
That's the
that.
most random assembly of clothing into costume
Exactly.
I've ever heard of.
Are you saying that you don't have a random Hawaiian shirt in your closet?
Actually, I do not. I do not own a Hawaiian shirt. But
No.
I'm surprised this list pretty much sounds like it came out of your closet, but you missed all your favorites. Sexy nurse, sexy kitten, and sexy maid. I don't know what happened to those. Maybe next year.
Sexy bottle of Pepto Bismol. Yeah.
Right. There you go.
So there you go. So that's a if you're in a pinch, you need a last minute costume idea. Boom, there you go.
Nice.
Head over to Value Village or wherever, and there you go. There's some quick, easy ideas for your Halloween 2019 for you.
Okay, Darren. Now let's follow this up because that was a
Yes.
great top five. Now
Thank you.
we both work in different places, but now adding to that, does your place? I know my place does this a lot. For every like Halloween or Christmas, they do dress up days. Do you participate?
If I worked at a place that did that, yeah, I would participate. If everyone else did, because I think that kind of like centers you out if you didn't participate. Especially if everyone else that does. If it's the first year and you don't know how far should I go, like maybe have like a Halloween themed shirt and maybe like a mask and just get the lay of the land to see how far people go and how detailed they go with their costume, if it's a big thing or not.
Okay, I'm asking because I've been at my place for a very long time, and they do dress up for everything. Not everybody does. It's a huge place, but a lot of
Yeah,
people do.
yeah, do
Out of many years, I participated once, and that was a few weeks ago for Pink Shirt Day for
okay,
Breast Cancer
okay,
Awareness.
yeah.
I do not participate in anything.
For
Let's see
Halloween,
for any not Halloween, no Christmas, ugly
Okay,
Christmas sweater day,
okay, yeah.
Jersey Day. I used to, but I skip now. I don't give a shit. Like I can't wear a Lions jersey. I get laughed at.
Yeah.
Soccer jersey. I just confuse people.
Yeah.
Like they have St. Patrick's Day that people dress up in green and
Green,
shit, which is I think it's just fucking annoying.
yeah.
Like Halloween costumes. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't really find that fun.
Right.
Like looking like an asshole for 8 hours. I already do that to my face. Like I don't need to like put extra color around me to like figure that shit out.
Sure. Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
think I think it's more, if you want to, you can do it. I think it's just more of a workplace camaraderie thing.
Doesn't
But
boost morale surprisingly, but anyway.
yeah, sure. Everyone likes, a costume can be very liberating, I guess.
I get
Uh,
it.
for most people. So yeah, I think it's more like if you're comfortable, if you have if your humor, like if you like to dress up like someone that may not too many people know, but people you work with would know. Like if you work at a paper company and you want to dress like a 3-hole punch,
Damn. That's
that's
going all out. I just dress past myself and be like, "Who are you?" No, I'm me. That's who I am.
Why don't you
Okay.
just go as a rapper? Because that's who you are.
No, see, that would be a fake costume because that's just awful. You've seen my videos.
Yes.
All right.
Uh,
Okay,
so
so
there you go. Jake is not is a Halloween. So he's not a Halloween costume person.
I just
What?
don't participate.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. Let me ask you this: if your wife wanted you to do a couple's costume with her, would you?
Where would I be going? Am I staying
Like,
home? Where am I going to
no,
go?
no, like a Halloween party.
How people? I don't go to Halloween parties.
You don't go to you never been to a Halloween party?
No, why? I go trick or treating with the kids.
Okay,
I
okay,
have
but
to
like,
live. I live through them. They get me candy. That's me living my life. Me living my best life right there.
I, I,
Go.
I, I
We're
was
gonna hit an
gonna
extra block today. I know it's cold, but we're gonna do an extra block. Just I
be,
need my Kit Kat.
be like, hey, you want that candy? Then you got to work hard to get that candy.
Exactly.
That's right.
Put in some work.
So,
Extra steps.
so there you go. You being the super parent that you are, have your kids already got their costumes picked out? They know what they
Yeah,
want to
I think so. I didn't participate in that this year either. I know. Sounds bad.
be.
But yeah, they got stuff picked out, which is cool because they pick stuff that's just random, just as random as your top 5 list, actually.
Oh,
And
so one of them is being Hopper from Stranger Things.
I wish, because then that would make sense to me. But no. But anyway, yeah, they pick some fun stuff like that's just odd and whatever. That I wouldn't even like think of. Oh, you actually like that? Okay, cool. So, but yeah,
It's so glad you know. I'm so glad you know about your kids there, Jake. That's good
well,
stuff.
they're even random. They surprise themselves. You're like, oh, I like this one instead. Oh, okay. So not the stuff you've been playing with all year, just some random shit. You're gonna dress up just for one day. Okay, whatever.
It's all about looking cool, man. It's like whatever you
I
feel that makes you look
guess.
cool. That's it.
I guess. Well, if any of my work friends are listening to the podcast,
Yeah.
feel free to dress up as me to work. You know what it takes.
Just put on a ball cap and just act miserable. There you go. Got it down pat.
You know what? That's the best summary ever. I swear, if you saw me this morning, you'd like turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
For
It's like
4 hours of my day.
Like, how's it going, Jake? Oh, fucking
Yeah.
miserable.
It's like seeing Michael Myers standing in the bushes staring at you. That would be me this morning.
There you go. With this hatchet just ready.
Right, except this other hatchet was paperwork.
There you
All
go.
right. That's what we'll get into Halloween next week.
Yes.
So what's your new segment?
Oh, yes.
This day in history.
This day in history.
Yeah.
Well, the week of October 23rd, we have some good stuff. This day in history in film and TV, back in 1941, Walt Disney's animated film Dumbo was released. Yes.
Well, the good news is all the new ones were just as terrible as the first one.
There you go.
Summarized right there.
Also in this day in history, October 23rd, Jake's all-time favorite artist, Adele, releases her "Hello," becomes the first song with more than 1 million downloads in its first week.
Love it.
So there you go.
Good album.
Jake is a big Adele fan.
I am. One of my top 5 concerts of all time.
Look at that.
I said it.
Look at that. He's in touch with his other side. Yes,
Every side. There's a lot of sides to me.
There's a lot of sides. Guys like a hexagon. There you go.
No comment.
And also to this day in history in sports, back in 1993. Remember 1993, Jake?
Better than you.
Yeah, because you're old. Yes.
That's what I'm getting at.
Back in 1993, Joe Carter of the Toronto Blue Jays hits a World Series walk-off homer against the Philadelphia Phillies.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. I still have the newspaper somewhere from that.
Really? There you go.
I have it. I have the newspaper. I had the first edition of that the next day. It's somewhere. Yeah, it's somewhere in my files. I do have that.
Yeah,
I remember exactly where I was when that happened. That was good. was a good time.
It was pretty cool seeing a Canadian team, win back-to-back World Series
Yeah.
in that fashion. So speaking of the World Series, who's your pick? Do you like Washington or Houston?
Doesn't really matter. You got Tigers in each team, so I don't give a shit.
I would like to see Houston.
How did we
win,
lose
especially-
with these guys on our roster?
I know, no, because we had a horrible manager.
Come on, man. Like, two of the best pitchers, one on each team. Like, come on.
Well,
How?
we pretty much had three great pitchers.
Right. Yeah,
Those two and David Price.
that's true.
Yeah.
Pisser wasn't bad either. Like, if you look at the lineup, it was actually really good.
It was really good. I'm like, yeah.
If you look back in history, you're gonna notice, like, oh my god, like, how did this team not win?
Yeah, I know.
How?
That's not what you want to be in history books for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also one more piece in this day in history. Back in 1981, the U.S. national debt hit $1 trillion.
Cool.
There you go.
We were failing back then, and we're still failing. All right.
There you go. Now it's probably at $100 trillion now.
I think we're like at 22.
22 trillion?
Yeah.
So there you go. That's this day in history for.
Awesome. All right. Well, I watched the trailer.
Yes.
We're going to that we were supposed to look at. So, Star Wars. It's a thing.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, Christmas.
Yes.
This thing comes out, and trailer looks pretty good. Kind of spoils. It's a long trailer. The final trailer is pretty long. Spoils a little bit of it if you really look at the details. I'm not gonna go through it all, but all the characters you wanted to see are there.
Yes.
This is the end of the saga.
Yes.
It's gonna be a lot of good shots, a lot of good scenery, a lot of good CGI. They put the money into this. This is like 2.5 hour movie, something like that.
Yeah.
So it looks good. So it's gonna have, I think, the proper send off it deserves. I think.
Yeah, I think J.J. Abrams, who's directing this one, is really gonna make it emotional, but also satisfying for the hardcore Star Wars fans out there. So I think it's gonna be I think it'll be an emotional film. I'm not saying that there's gonna be tears flowing, but let's face it, these Star Wars fans get emotional over everything.
You'll have your tissue box with you when you go.
Oh, absolutely. They will be. I'm sure there a lot of people were crying just watching the trailer. So that's going to be interesting. Obviously, Disney loves making money with Star Wars. So, and don't worry, Star Wars fans. Next year they'll have another movie come out. They'll probably.
It's another saga. I think they're going to start.
I don't think they're going to start right away. Maybe that's 2 years
after.
down. Yeah. Like next year, you might get another origin story, the Obi-Wan Kenobi story, or Boba Fett. Well, actually, not Boba Fett because they're doing the TV series on Disney Plus, so that's gonna take care of that. But it's gonna be interesting to see what they do after the saga that's been, decades in the making to see it.
Have to be good.
It has to deliver, but you got to trust. Like obviously, the first one, The Force Awakens, was great. It was really good. The second one that Rian Johnson did, it was okay. It didn't really blow me away, But this one, J.J. Abrams, I got a feeling he's gonna really knock it out the park.
Yeah, J.J. I like some of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah, I think he's the one that did all the Cloverfield stuff, so I'm a big fan of that.
He did, and he also did a Star Trek one, the first Star Trek one. That was awesome.
Which was actually really good. Yeah, it was
really good. Yeah, especially me at that. I'm not really a Star Trek fan, which is weird because a lot of people who, if you watch Star Wars, but you don't like Star Trek, but it's kind of along the same lines, but it's not. You know,
Right. It's
they're
spacey.
similar. They're similar, but they're different.
Hmm. Yeah, no, not bad. But yeah, it should be fun. I give it a good 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
It might be we'll see what the movie's like.
Right.
Um,
Uh,
doesn't look like a perfect movie. There's gonna be its slow points. I think it's gonna get a little cheesy at
sure.
some points, but 4 out of 5,
Sure.
and I'm definitely gonna go see it for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. It's become tradition that me and a bunch of my cousins we all get together and watch it. Because my one cousin is a huge Star Wars fan, so it's going to be interesting to see what he thinks of it. He'll like the last one. I think it was Solo. Was Solo the last one that they
Yeah.
came out with? Yeah, we saw Solo, and I thought that was well done too. It's gonna be interesting to see how they wrap everything up, and obviously seeing all those characters one last time. The Luke, the Leia, the
Yes.
um the Emperor is back in this one, and just see how they all wrap up their individual storylines because Carrie Fisher has been dead for like over 2 years, so but they still are gonna manage to have her in the film. So
Well, yeah, that's the magic of movies these days.
yes, where no one is really dead.
No, no, no. They just recreate you in the digital world, and you keep going.
Absolutely. So there you go.
There we go. Not bad. All right. So let's get to our music for this week.
Yeah.
And you guys know we are worldwide. We prove
Worldwide.
that to you every week. We actually went local not too long ago. We went U.S., Australia, we did Europe, we did Africa, and yes, where we're going back today. We're going to South Africa. We're going to Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Cape Town, yeah. Now, we have an artist we're going to be playing for you. His name is James Corder. His new song just came out. It's called New Morning.
I love him on TV. He's fantastic.
No.
No?
Wow, no, wrong guy.
Oh.
Wow, we went there. Okay. No, this guy is
Just a joke, everyone. It's just a
Yeah,
joke.
yes. The crowd goes wild. James Corder is from Cape Town, but he grew up on Bob Dylan, Tracy Chapman, which I like Tracy Chapman, Leonard Cohen, and he's been last 4 years traveling around all over South Africa in bars and folk clubs around Cape Town, and just learning everything he can. And he came out with a single and recently released. And we get the pleasure of playing it on our show this week. So here is James Corder, New Morning, on the AG Podcast.
Can't you hear that rooster crowing? Rabbit running down across the road, underneath the bridge where the water flowed through. So happy just to see a smile underneath that sky of blue. On this new morning, on this new morning with you. Can't you hear that motor turning? Automobile coming into style, coming down the road for a country mile or two. So happy just to see a smile underneath that sky of blue. On this new morning, on this new morning with you. The night passed away so quickly, It always does when you're with me. Can't you feel that sun is shining? Groundhog running by the country stream. This must be the day that all of my dreams come true. So happy just to be alive underneath that sky of blue. On this new morning, on this new morning with you. Yonder comes this singer with his gun, crying like a fire in the sun. Look out, the saint is coming through, and it's all over now, baby blue. And it's all over now, baby blue.
All right, so that was James Corder, New Morning, here on the ADG podcast. Cool tune. Check him out. We're going to share the SoundCloud link. If you guys can want to listen to it again and enjoy that cool track. Again, we mixed it up all over the world. We play whatever we want to play. And yeah, back to Africa this week. So that's cool. I wonder what we get next week, because there's a whole bunch of stuff in that mailbox.
There you go.
Yeah. There's a couple of our friends of the show will be releasing albums within the next month or so. So we'll be featuring some of those. And yeah, it should be fun. All right, so that's the music for the week. Now, I was reading some stuff this week, Darren.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there seems to be a trend in our generation that not we ourselves, but there's a trend that there's a lot more smart drugs being used, and creating a 24/7 society where everybody has to be up all the time, alert, on social media, everywhere, working. It just doesn't stop. People don't sleep as much, and everybody needs to be more alert. And there's a market for these drugs that stimulate and motivate and keep you awake longer.
Right.
So there's an article out there that says that these drugs, called smart drugs, is now a revolution, and it's accelerating us into a 24/7 society. So I don't know if I agree with that. I know there's not enough hours in the day to do everything we got to do. Trust me, we know. We run a show. We do a whole bunch of other things. But looking at the supplement market, and everybody knows somebody that takes supplements, and this is another type of supplement. The market itself went from $1.7 billion in 2016 to $10.7 billion last year.
Wow.
That's insane growth in selling of supplements and drugs like modafinil. It's medically approved, and then it's boosted by people like Joe Rogan on his podcast, like Alpha Brain. That's this brand. And Nerd Alert that Gwyneth Paltrow sells, stuff that makes you more alert. Like we used to like regular stuff like caffeine and whatever, but
Right.
these people promote even other supplements. Now, do you think that's necessary, or do you think that's where the trend is going? Like I said, there's not enough hours in the day to do things we gotta do.
Yeah, you know what? I think like if anything, it's more a fad because if people oversaturate the market with their own version of these pills, then people are just going to get turned off to it, you because or it's just the next thing, and it could be a Red Bull, and then that turned into 5-hour energy drinks, these little shots, and now it's pills and all these, all this natural stuff, and the way you eat, how many hours of sleep you should get a night, how many how much energy should you have for your age. It's just constantly changing.
Yeah, well, that's again, we kind of work in the media a little bit. Like we do a bunch of other things, and sometimes it's just you're tired. Like by the end of the
Yep.
week, like some of these people work way more than we do, I guess, and
Yep.
you just need that stimulant.
Yep.
Now, I don't know. I stick to coffee once a
Mhm.
week to keep me going through some of these days. I don't know. I don't know if I need pills to give me more energy.
You have coffee once a week?
Yeah, that's. I know.
You mean
That's an extra largers today. Excels.
what by once a week? Like, do you mean like once a day?
No, once a week.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I know.
I was gonna say
Well,
that.
that's coming from like I used to do like 2 energy drinks a day, like
Oh,
2 years ago. Yeah,
I gotcha.
I quit that shit.
I was gonna say I only have coffee like once a day, like one coffee in the morning. Then that's it.
Now, want a little espresso when you get home, huh?
No espresso for me. Trust me. If I had that, I'd
Oh
be
no.
up all night.
On a
Yeah.
Sunday with a dinner.
Maybe. It depends on the situation.
Oh, you're
Uh,
not Italian to me anymore. You're
oh,
dead.
dude, I'm like far from like your average like very wop Italian.
Oh damn!
I know.
You revoked your Italian card. No
You know,
espresso.
you know,
Yeah.
you know what? I never had my Italian card, to be honest with you.
Oh man, I don't drink
Yeah.
espresso. I don't eat pizza. What's pasta?
Oh, the pizza pasta thing, I got that covered. Yeah, but like
Better.
that's just because I like food. That's why.
There you go. There you
You
go.
know.
Well,
But
we have? What was our beef this week?
oh,
Yeah, you and I had a strong conversation about this
it was
on what was
horrible.
this Monday night. Well, I
Yep,
didn't even
yep. It
get
was Monday
enough
night.
sleep.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it was
bad.
Monday night. Oh, it was horrible. It was obviously this past Monday was federal election here in Canada. Um, and if
And we
you
don't
voted,
get political in any way, but this is
no,
interesting,
but
and it's going
but
to turn in a different direction the way you guys are
yeah,
thinking.
yeah. So obviously with the election coverage, it's not like the U.S. where there's like Fox and NBC and ABC. They have their own coverage. It really in Canada, it's CBC and then CTV. I guess that's it. Those are the two main ones that for election coverage and results and all that stuff. Well, hold on a second. There is St. Clair College journalism that's with their cracked staff team of insiders shelling out the information on local politics. Oh, and I was watching this, and I told Jake, I'm like, Jake, you have to watch this. It is just so god awful, and it was. It was. They were coming back every half hour to give updates on local ridings, and most people that that you see like on other networks have like teleprompters, telling them what to say. If you ever seen the movie Anchorman, you know what a teleprompter is. But like these guys, these kids, I should say, had no idea what they were talking about, and then they would go to this election insider or
The panel.
at this panel desk, and like half of those people aren't even journalists; they're in public relations.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't take anything you guys say seriously because it's like you're reading other people's opinions. When if you're journalism, if you're a journalist, you're not supposed to have an opinion. You know.
That's right, and we talked about that. And as soon as I was watching the CBC because that's the only thing I had access to, because nobody really else cares that there was an election going on, and that was a treat. But yeah, you sent me a message like, check this shit out. I'm like, okay, so I'll check it out. So went to their site, hit up Facebook.
Yeah.
And they were streaming live.
Mm-hmm.
And at 11 they went actually to talking, and it was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen coming out of a live production studio, because it was not as bad as the CBC, but when you're reading from a paper, excuse me, and you're telling me stuff that I really don't care about, that's not any type of panel. You're supposed to be having a conversation about things. If you're a panel, an insider panel talking, there's three of you telling me what's going on and filling me in on stuff. Either have a conversation about it or tell me what's going on directly. Yeah. And Darren was right, because we talked about this. And how, again, we know because that's where we studied.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have an opinion if you're a journalist. If you're doing a podcast like we are, I have a fucking opinion, and I'm going to tell you about it. But that's what I'm here to do. When you're on TV doing a newscast, which this was, with a panel, I don't want your opinion. One, you're 12, and you shouldn't have an opinion. Two, if you had one, it wasn't very informed because you're reading other news media's opinions.
Yeah.
Three, the way it came across was so bad. And again, we're not ripping on them because it was, well, awful. We're ripping on them because it could be better.
Yeah. It's like they have the technology where they could have been at a place where like a party's going for a liberal or conservative, you know, and they could have had a report or an interview live from there.
They should. Everybody, you can stream live from anywhere.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. You have a phone, you have a laptop, boom, Facebook Live, streaming live. You don't want to do it live, cool. If you're broadcasting at 11, you tell me you can't get out there at 9 o'clock, 9:30 when the polls close.
Yeah.
To one of these little holdout areas at 10 o'clock even, an hour before you go back live again, and get some interviews quickly. Bring them over. You can be there and back in a half hour, especially if you're covering Windsor.
Exactly. Especially like, you know, if you want to treat it like they're actual journalists and reporters, have them go out to a scene. Have you go to the Pupatello thing. You go to the Brian Massey thing. You know, grab an interview, there. Come back. You know, if you can't do live, come back and cut it so you can throw it to an interview.
Super tight race in Tecumseh. You definitely want to be there.
Yeah.
Go.
You know what? Because I was just sick and tired of just seeing, you know, people that, you know, obviously they're just reading stuff off Twitter and going through emotions and making it look like it's their own hard work research.
Exactly. And then, you know, and if you're ending the show with your two hosts giving me their opinion, I don't care. You literally just got out of high school, and your opinion doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. You've done zero work of research in your life. So
I know. And I just can't take an anchor serious with a name like Bird. I'm sorry.
Which one was that?
the guy that was the guy that was standing next to the screen. You have the green screen. With all
he was trying. No offense, but he was trying.
He was trying.
The two that were sitting at the round table together, having conversation. Oh my goodness, yeah. There's some work that needs to be done there, some rehearsing maybe. But that in the panel was bad. We need to work on some things here.
It was just, I understand that they're students. I understand that this is how they learn by doing this. But like, you know, really put some effort into it. And I get it. Hey, live TV is tough. You know, you want to be interesting. You want to look like you know what you're talking about.
Well, you got to do the background work. If you do the background work, even if you suck at presenting like we do, at least you do the background.
You do the background work, and you really put out like you rehearse what you're saying, so you're not saying and and 17
Right.
times.
It's on TV. It's not a fucking podcast.
Exactly. Like occasionally we do the occasional and
Oh, we do a lot, but who cares? It's a podcast. It's not on
it's a
TV live.
podcast. Yeah.
We're not covering the election live, are we? We're not
exactly.
calling ourselves. We don't call ourselves journalists.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not.
Yeah, we're not like.
entertainers.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously more has to go into prepare these kids. And I use the term loosely. When it comes to
Youths. They're youths.
yeah, when it comes to covering an event like this, and I understand that probably not too many people were even watching it, besides from your friends and family that you told to watch.
Yeah,
but
I think it was just me and you at one time.
it was
like me and you for 10 minutes.
Because honestly, like if I wanted to know who won between Putello and Massey, I checked Twitter instead of watching that. I just so happened to see like, oh, it's on. I thought it was something from AM 800 or like a credible news source. But like,
Now. AM
Wow.
800, credible
Wow.
news source.
Well, no, but they are credible.
Ish. Okay. Well, basically, what we're trying to tell you is we emailed you guys. We tried to email you guys. We tweeted at you guys. All we got is a response to email you. The email doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we are still putting it out there. We would love to have you guys on the show.
Yes.
Doesn't matter who. President of the club, random students. I don't care. The laziest student in the back getting D's. I really don't give a shit. Anybody from the program.
Yeah.
Come on the show. We're right here. We'll tag you in all this.
Especially if there is a club. I don't even know if there's a club left.
I don't know. Somebody needs to tell us something.
I was gonna say because I bet you all our emails go into their junk folder probably.
No, it doesn't even go through. They don't receive outside emails.
Right.
So why give me an email? Whoever handles Twitter for the Mediaplex. Why give me an email when I email from different accounts and it bounces back? Obviously, that email doesn't work. I did message you. You did not message me back. Therefore, we're talking about it. We're going to tag you in it. We would love to have a response.
Yep.
There you go. That's all we want. We're having a good time here. We're trying to help.
You would think that they would be happy with us talking about their program because no one else does.
Nobody else does, right?
Exactly, right?
Well, what's our intro like? They had one viewer, and that was me.
Yeah, and it's great because those two people that were talking at that round table, we're on Twitter. We should have said, "Hey, won't you come on the ADG podcast and talk about this horrendous?"
Do you really want to confuse them? You don't want to throw like a curveball at them, like, "Oh my God, we have to react live." So they're probably getting the emails. Yeah, they're getting stuff screened. Dave and Girl were there screening things for them.
Exactly.
They had to.
Especially with all the names that they're listing off at the end. Like, why don't you put up a full page graphic with all these names instead of just one guy saying that, rattling off 17 names.
Stop making sense, Darren.
I'm sorry. It's the producer in me, I guess.
No, literally, in the last 8 minutes, we gave them ideas on how to improve their show and make it better.
Like show us how many polls have reported.
Like show prep, we just did it for you.
There you go.
Come on, it's not that hard.
I know.
Whatever.
It's like
we got put out there. We'll tag them in it. Hopefully, we get a response. If not, maybe they'll ban us. Who cares? Maybe we'll go through another boycott. We'll get the shit. It'll be great.
Speaking of St. Clair, just a quick shout out. Impact Wrestling is back this weekend.
Oh, there we go.
I will be doing some amazing camera work with Impact Wrestling this weekend. Can't wait. Ken Shamrock is coming to town. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Ken Shamrock.
Like
60? He's pretty cool. He's up there.
No.
I still remember that chair shot he took from The Rock back in his WWE days.
Ooh, ouch. Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I used to watch back then.
Oh. And now it's just getting stupid.
Yeah. Well, they just launched a new video game, and I guess it was glitches in it. Didn't work out very well. SmackDown just came out, but whatever. Speaking of video games, this week, the new Modern Warfare comes out, Call of Duty.
Oh, Jake will not be leaving his house anytime
Well,
soon.
I have to leave for soccer. Besides that, screw it. I'll be playing.
Kids, don't block me.
Pretty much.
I'm focused, kids.
Focus. Well, anyway, we'll be tagging the journalism program on all our socials, and if you want to get our socials, Twitter ADG Podcast, Instagram ADG Podcast, Facebook ADG Podcast, like usual.
Yes.
Email adgpodcast@gmail.com for any grievances, concerns. You want to yell at us for calling out these kids, whatever. Do it there. Any music artists that want to get played. Hey, we just covered Africa again. We're ready to go. We're rolling.
Yes.
Let us know. There's a few spots open for the rest of this season, which ends just before Christmas, sometime December. So get all in there. And that's our socials. Get up in there. Get it all done. Let us know.
That's it.
There we go. So for the ADG podcast, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Darren.
And we are ADG.